song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
गुड मॉर्निंग बे आप सभी लोगों को हमारी तरफ से प्यार भरा नमस्कार
Namaste.
नमस्कारा
Vanakkam.
खुशामदीद
Assalamualaikum.
सत श्री अकाल
Meekandariki Vandanamu.
जय स्वामी नारायण
Jai Shri Krishna.
जय जनेन्द्रा
Mas Mari Bhai Bando को बोल दे याली मदद.
मोराली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी मंदिर बोलेंगे नीसा बोला बटजन हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे मैं से फालतू बाबा
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, lekar aapke liye ek aur drive time that's going to make it totally exciting and totally mastani bandajani.
And of course, but the exciting part is the fact that yahan pe we are heading towards I think a statewide or probably nationwide open up also as of June. June 15th actually. And aaj have 443rd day of our sheltering in place Panjan. Yes, just because our tier level has actually lightened up does not mean that we already are not supposed to be sheltered in place. They changed the concept of sheltering in place and called it tiers just so it'll be easy for us to digest. It's like, when you're giving somebody a bitter pill, you coat with sugar and give it, that's what they're giving us. So it's a good thing they understand human nature as the person's happening. But Fadrani, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You know what Namo is, right?
Namo is Narendra Modi.
It became a world phenomenon, right?
Correct.
Now, Biden is doing something called as Nama.
What is that?
You don't know about that?
No, North American what?
Not American. It's like National Month of Action.
Really?
And he wants to make sure 70% of the people in our nation at least get the first vaccination, Manajan. And that's something he's working towards, and hopefully he gets done. And the administration is able to fulfill that. They have done a pretty good job of keeping up most of the outlook what he has put out for people. Dikhte hain kya hota hai. Lekin abhi ke liye bacha, let's go see what's happening with the news. Aap logon ke liye, this is the traffic update for you guys, which we call Raste Ka Haal Total Saste Mein.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Baljan. 408-912-2479 is the number. If you say that, oh, Baba, you missed out this particular location, is very bad and all. Well, actually, but the volume of traffic has not increased much. No, though it is supposed to be like, suppose everything is opening up, no, it hasn't. Schools also, for the matter of fact, schools are closed down right now. So people are not actually traveling much on the roads also, even for the in-person schools and everything, right?
What? No. People are traveling, Alto Baba.
Really?
I think
to schools?
Now most schools are opening up.
Yeah,
actually,
opening up, but now, aren't they in summer holidays? Most of them actually already felt ready.
I
don't know, but I'm not the person who takes care of, who's keeping tabs on that, but I just know the fact that some of the kids who actually are volunteers of Pragya have saying that the already summer has started. So, and many of them actually are utilizing the hybrid thing, but and of course, some really disturbing news. We have been talking about this for the past year as to how it is impacting children, how it's impacting people. Well, actually speaking, it is impacting the mental health of many individuals. If you don't know about that, don't be in denial or ignorance of the whole fact of it. It is something which really is happening. Hence, Gavin Newsom's new proposal actually spending a lot of money towards mental health for children in schools as well. Uske baare mein jankari milega aapko. Also, it's going to be a big boost because I think close to $8 billion has been set aside $4 billion has been set aside for mental health and also for expanding the mental services for Medicare. So you can get more information about that, Baljan, on our news blog for sure when we get to that. But abhi ke liye a quick look at the traffic. Well, high wind advisory and fog on 101 northbound. Yes, when it's hot and sunny here, over there in San Francisco, it'll be ulta always. Just know that much. And watch out for that particular fog advisory there on Golden Gate Bridge. And a report of an accident is coming in on 92 westbound at South Delaware Street in San Mateo, which is impacting traffic over there big time. The traffic has become pretty sluggish, heading towards, heading towards 82, Bandujan. 101 se leke 82 tak the whole blockage is right there. It's pretty much in dark red color, meaning the traffic is stop and go pretty much. So watch out for that. And speaking of stop and go traffic, because of accidents, an overturned tractor trailer and a spill has caused because of an accident on 880 southbound entering in Mission Boulevard in Fremont. Watch out. Please drive very carefully. Right next to that is another accident with injuries which is actually very close to the same Mission Boulevard, Burunjan. It actually is the two tractor trailers have been affected over there, and probably this will impact traffic, but it's on the exit side. So people traveling on 80 might not be affected, but of course, taking the exit towards the Mission Boulevard, you might actually have some traffic over there and sluggish traffic in the region. Now, San Leandro is reporting accident on 880 southbound entering at Hingenberger Road, so a little bit of slow traffic there. But if you look at overall, Burjan, a bird's eye view of the whole thing, there's not much of report of traffic accidents to report for you guys. Delay is going to happen. Again, it still looks like a COVID situation. It's not like how it was pre-COVID. Things might change probably coming June 15th. Some of you might probably want to choose to go the public transit route, because now public transit is opening up multiple places. BART is having special schemes you can actually take on, because they open up certain stops and certain routes for people to be able to ride on BART. Could be one way of trying to navigate, or actually to escape from the rush which is going to happen on that June 15th, but when everything opens up for everybody. And right now, that was your traffic update. A quick look at what's happening with the news for you guys. Burjan, let's go with the headlines, or probably the news about what's happening nationally. Fathoni, you want to take it away?
Yes, absolutely. US President Joe Biden offered to scrap his proposed corporate tax hike during negotiations with Republicans. Two sources familiar with the matter said on Thursday, in what would be a major concession by the Democratic president as he works to hammer out an infrastructure deal. Biden offered to drop plans to hike corporate tax rates as high as 28% and instead set a minimum tax rate for companies that would pay at least 15%, sources said. Biden's new proposal, worth $1.7 trillion, would allow some $75 billion in unspent COVID-19 relief funds to be repurposed for the bill, one particular source also said. It assumes that increased tax revenues from stepped-up enforcement would raise $700 billion over a decade, drop subsidies on oil fuels to raise additional funds, and would impose a new vehicles miles traveled fee on commercial trucks. In return, Republicans would have to agree to at least $1 trillion in new infrastructure spending, another source has said.
Wow, that means from 4 trillion came to 1 trillion. They're good negotiators, man.
No, from 2.3 trillion.
But still, 50%
He made it 1.7, and the Republicans came back with 988,000.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
They should come down to at least 1.5.
Yeah.
That's all. Nothing much.
Yes.
Come on.
I agree.
Negotiation-wise, come on.
You're a Democrat. You're a Democrat. You're a Democrat. Yeah.
Please don't label me that way. I don't like labels.
Well,
I'm independent.
The Republicans don't like government spending. They don't like to spend money.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I take the Ralston approach here. It's neither this nor that. It's not utilitarian, not extreme libertarian. I'm somewhere in the between. You know what Ralston is?
Yeah, you're a Democrat.
No, I'm not. We're the people who are pragmatic thinkers. Sometimes, yes, it's not good. So, yeah, a little bit of government is required, because sometimes some people require supports. And that's where I say. But anyway, don't look at my political policy, because it's totally messed up.
No, it's not. We just go with what we think is right. It doesn't matter if it's Democratic or Republican. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Republicans also.
Yeah.
So what if they have things wrong? Just kidding, Balajan.
Okay.
I'm not Rush Limbaugh anyway. Nobody's paying me millions of dollars. If they do pay me, I don't mind talking for them.
Oh God!
Republicans,
stop.
Please do think of it. If you want to actually find somebody like Rush Limbaugh who can voice his opinions openly, I'm right here.
Oh God!
What?
No, please don't compare yourself to him, because he was the most obnoxious.
I'm not comparing myself to him.
Wait a second. Did I say he was obnoxious?
Well, I'm just saying that somebody like him who would voice his thoughts. Yeah, okay, it's a news segment. Come on.
Well, okay, so the other news item that we have coming out is that President Joe Biden on Thursday laid out how the United States would share some 25 million of planned 80 million COVID-19 vaccine doses with the rest of the world. The United States will donate nearly 19 million doses of its COVID-19 vaccine supply through the COVAX International Vaccine sharing program. He said in a statement, through COVAX, some 6 million doses would go to Latin America and the Caribbean, and 7 million doses would go to South and Southeast Asia, and roughly 5 million for Africa. The remaining doses, amounting to just over 6 million, would go directly from the United States to countries including Canada, Mexico, India, and South Korea. We are sharing these doses not to secure favors or to extract concessions, Biden said in a statement. We are sharing these vaccines to save lives and to lead the world in bringing an end to this pandemic with the power of our example and with our values. Biden has come under intense pressure from the world community to share the U.S. surplus of COVID-19 vaccines. On Wall Street, let's tell you a little bit. A new generation of executives at the world's biggest asset managers is helping drive an uprising against corporate America that environmental and social justice activists have long campaigned for. The big mutual fund firms, whose stock holdings amount to trillions of dollars, used to be loyal members of the corporate establishment. They cast their votes at shareholder meetings, largely as instructed by the management of the companies on their portfolios, on issues ranging from CEO pay to carbon emission reporting. They rarely discuss their decisions publicly. This year marks a sea change as top funds throw more of their weight behind investor challenges to companies on environmental, social, and governance issues, and put companies on notice by often choosing to publicize how and why they voted, a Reuters review of voting results and firms' new disclosure show. A record 14 S&P 500 companies had more than 50% of their investors reject their executive pay packages as of June 1. According to corporate governance consultant ISS Corporate Solutions, investors voted down a total of 12 CEO pay plans in the entirety of 2020. About 28% of the S&P 500 companies have not yet held their annual meeting this year. So that's good news, because the new blood is rising up now. Amazon Ring, right? You guys know about that, right? The Ring that most places, most houses have. Well, Amazon.com's camera unit Ring is planning to make police requests for users' video footage through its Neighborhood Watch app more transparent, the company said on Thursday, a move that follows criticism that its product facilitates surveillance and profiling. Public safety agencies such as police and fire departments now must request material from their communities through a new publicly viewable type of post on the Neighbors app, Ring said in a blog. Previously, Ring device owners would receive private messages from the app on behalf of the police looking for videos. Ring is a smart security device company whose video doorbell product allows users to see and record people who approach their doorstep, deterring theft and allowing them to monitor around their homes. It was bought by e-commerce giant Amazon in 2018. Its devices and its social app, which allow users to share and discuss the surveillance footage captured through their cameras, have been met with concerns from lawmakers and civil rights groups over privacy and racial profiling. In news from across the Bay Area, Abanajan, get ready for a really hot and dry summer, CAL FIRE is saying. With hotter temperatures and drier seasons, Bay Area wildfires are becoming more intense, and this upcoming fire season will likely be no different. Jonathan Cox, Deputy Chief of CAL FIRE's San Mateo County Division, said in the past decade, each year's wildfire season has grown in intensity. And they're saying, without a doubt, the worst wildfires were in 2020, and that came on the heels of the worst wildfires, I beg your pardon, on record in 2019, and then that came on the heels of the worst wildfire in 2018. So it's getting worse with each year. So please get ready and be prepared for a really bad fire season, is what CAL FIRE is saying. A magnitude 3.6 earthquake struck near San Jose early this morning, according to the USGS. The quake, centered about 9 miles northeast of downtown San Jose, hit at about 5:15 a.m. along the Calaveras Fault. Residents reported shaking across multiple Bay Area cities, including San Jose, Santa Clara, Milpitas, Campbell, and Morgan Hill.
Wow,
Five.
you didn't feel it, Faltrani?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't feel anything. Did you feel it, Alto Baba?
Have I ever felt any earthquake except once? But actually, it was pretty much in 2012.
When was that? When we were on in the hotel, right? Which was on the 4th floor of
That was your DoubleTree, right?
Yeah.
Long time ago. That was like almost 2000.
No.
That was like 2000 something, 4 or 5.
No. Recently, it was 2 years
Nah, then
ago.
I don't know. I remember only once. It was in 2012 or 2011 sometime when actually I was on the 4th floor of a building and I actually could feel everything in the kitchen go.
Oh God.
And I was like, hold on to a table. I said the table started moving afterwards. Crazy. But anyway, you got to be careful about that because a lot of things happening. Earthquakes, the shifts is happening around the world. But in fact, if you notice, a week ago, we actually shared about an earthquake that's happened actually in the depths of the Tahoe River as well, right?
Yeah.
It was 4 point something 2 magnitude. Nothing to worry about, Banjan. There was no bubbles coming out of the particular place. Lake. People still were actually, boating over there and everything. So, I don't know. Anyways, the world is kind of changing for the better always.
Well, I don't know how much of change is happening, at least with regard to this one particular driver of a dump truck who actually this morning, right, a dump truck spilled trash and fuel along a freeway off-ramp and on-ramp in Fremont early this morning. Fremont fire crews and CHP officers responded to the southbound Interstate 880 on-ramp at Warren Boulevard for this overturned truck that left a trail of garbage strewn along the 880 exit and entrance lanes. The driver of the truck fled the scene, the CHP said, and it's being treated as a crime scene apparently. And another thing that's coming out is after this mass shooting that happened with regard at the VTA, right? Now there's news that is coming out which is saying that commonly used security features which are aimed at keeping intruders out can actually also block first responders during a crisis. So a technology, basically what they're saying is key cards and these things that are designed to protect employees and keep intruders out of businesses, schools and facilities. This technology is actually inadvertently denying access to people who are coming in to support or protect them, which is law enforcement and first responders. So more on that you will find on mediamahima.com. Those are the news headlines from across the United States and locally in the Bay Area. Do we have a Gani Ka Kira, Alto Baba?
Always, Father. You always have a Gani Kira Bajan is actually talking about the fact that yes, things are going to open up and you got to get back to work. Don't just sit there and get unemployment checks. Yeah, economy has to roll. That's why Balanjan, ye khel dekho, ye duniya ka khel hai, and America ka economy is on the rail, Balanjan. Matlab, it is on the flow. We are supposed to be doing very good economically, Balanjan.
Yeah.
So that means you got to get back to your jobs. Otherwise, we're going to have inflation, Balanjan. Yeah, you didn't know about that? Suddenly, you'll see all the mortgages go up now.
2, 3, up! दुनिया में रहना है तो काम कर प्यारे हाथ जोड़ सबको सलाम कर प्यारे दुनिया में रहना है तो काम कर प्यारे हाथ जोड़ सबको सलाम कर प्यारे वरना ये दुनिया जीने नहीं देगी खाने नहीं देगी पीने नहीं देगी खेल कोई नया सुबह शाम कर प्यारे दुनिया में रहना है तो काम कर प्यारे हाथ जोड़
And of course, Bajan, a song from the movie Hathi Meri Sathi. Mere Sathi is a movie name, Bajan. Music by Lakshmikant Parilal, a beautiful song, Bajan, which talks to you about the importance of how one has to work. And Haath Jod Sabko Salam Karo Pyare does not mean that you got to be submissive to everything. Like, you got to actually be humble. Humility ki baat kariye, Bajan, sab log wahan pe karte hain ki everybody goes like, I know this, I know that. No, it's not that. How much ever you know, suddenly there's something which you don't know. So I just love what Steve Jobs had said, Faltrani. Did you know about that? What Steve Jobs had talked about the fact of how we can build confidence?
How?
It's not about how much you know than somebody else.
Huh.
Let's look at the other perspective of it. How much you don't know.
Oh.
The ratio of how much you don't know from somebody else is pretty much equal, you know?
Uh-huh. The ratio of how much you don't know.
You see, how much I don't know and how much you don't know,
Huh.
in terms of volume, if you look at it, it's very marginal.
Oh.
Right? So
Yeah.
that puts us on the same plane.
Oh wow, lesson in humility, Bandaja.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, but just time for us to go check out check out the news of what's happening around the world. So, Faltrani, we are waiting.
Well, Altibaba, let me tell you. Today, not today, actually, the Kingdom's Queen Elizabeth is going to be meeting President Biden at Windsor Castle during his trip there. And this is at the conclusion of the G7 summit, which begins in Britain next week. Buckingham Palace said on Thursday Biden will become the 13th US president that the 95-year-old monarch has met during her record-breaking reign, and it'll be her first such major engagement since the death of her husband, Prince Philip, in April.
But what's the point? Biden already is married.
Hey, oh God, Altibaba, it's world leaders. Be quiet.
But hey, one thing, she didn't meet Trump, did she? She did.
Huh?
She didn't meet Trump.
I don't know if she did or
I don't
not.
think she met
I
Trump.
think she did.
She
Didn't
did?
she? Yeah, she did. Remember there's that photo, that awkward photo where her expression is like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then when she gets a prime minister who just like Trump only.
Yeah. Britain is hosting G7 leaders in Cornwall, England, in what will be the US president's first overseas trip since he took office in January, and the biggest in-person diplomatic event since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. We were talking yesterday about Benjamin Netanyahu, who's soon going to be ousted. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu on Thursday fought back against an agreement by his political opponents for a government of left-wing, centrist and right-wing parties aimed at unseating him. Netanyahu, facing the prospect of an end to his 12-year run as a premier, said on Twitter, "All legislators elected by votes from the right must oppose this dangerous left-wing government." And he targeted historic Arab participation in the coalition.
Well, interesting thing is the coalition actually has a Palestinian representative also.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they are. And actually now, I don't know how far it's going to happen, but they say it could change or could topple because Netanyahu is appealing to his conservative base and telling them like what Mitch McConnell told people, right? If you respect me, don't support this. Remember that Mitch McConnell's Mitchy boy? Yeah? Same thing he's trying to pull over here also,
Somebody calls him Moscow Mitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Anyway,
please, Trump
his
snitch.
name kind of rhymes with what he is to Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A snitch?
I don't know what. He's not a snitch for... no, he's not.
He's not a snitch. He's a
not a
person who'll stick to all
Yeah.
his frat boys.
Yeah. Well, under the deal, apparently the right-wing leader actually mounted a social media attack the day after the centrist politician Yair Lapid announced that he's going to be forming this coalition government kind of thing, and about 35 minutes before the Wednesday night deadline that he had succeeded in forming a government coalition.
You know, this reminds me of what happened in India, but if you don't know about this, the coalition actually came together to defeat Namo.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
everybody, all the parties. So it's more like they're not coming
so
together.
Don't compare Netanyahu and
No, I'm
Namo.
not. Situation, look at the situation, right? People are not coming together because of the causes. They're coming together for the wrong reason of trying to pull him down.
No, they're not. They're actually trying to come together because he hasn't been able to establish a significant majority over the past few elections,
Fine.
and there is significant allegations of corruption against him.
Yeah, but again, within the particular coalition itself, they don't look eye to eye on many things.
That's true, actually.
So basically, when they come into the form of government, you know what's going to happen, Billy? There's going to be chaos. This
So-
will not be made.
So, right now, under this particular deal, a nationalist, Naftali Bennett, who is 49 years old, a former defense minister and a high-tech millionaire, would become prime minister and hand over the post to Lapid, 57, a former TV host and finance minister, in about 2 years, apparently. So that's the way it's going to be working. And Netanyahu is like fighting for his life there. I mean, political life at least.
yeah.
Millions in Syria, in northwest Syria, face disaster if the United Nations fails actually to approve an extension of the cross-border humanitarian operations next month, a senior UN official said on Thursday. Some 3 million people, many of them displaced by fighting elsewhere in Syria during the decade-long conflict, have sought shelter near the border with Turkey outside the control of President Bashar al-Assad's government. Access for cross-border aid from Turkey was reduced last year to just one crossing point after opposition from Russia and China, permanent Security Council members, to renewing other crossings. In news from India, Bandajan, US Vice President Kamala Harris has spoken at length with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and discussed ongoing efforts to further strengthen the US-India vaccine cooperation. And the Prime Minister also thanked Harris for the support and solidarity from the US government, businesses, and the Indian diaspora. And in coronavirus live updates, in a U-turn, Maharashtra government is saying that there are not going to be any relaxation of lockdown like curbs anywhere just yet. India's daily new COVID cases continue to remain below 2 lakhs for the 7th day in a row. And the country reported 1,34,154 new COVID cases and 2,887 deaths as of Thursday. That is pretty much the update that I have for you from across the world, Banajan. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Till then, have yourselves a terrific Thursday and listen to this beautiful Gane Ka Kida.
एक दिन तेरे मेरे ख्वाब होंगे पूरे ऐसी कोई बात कर चल ओ जमूरे एक दिन तेरे मेरे ख्वाब होंगे पूरे ऐसी कोई बात कर चल ओ जमूरे रह जाए सब दिल थाम कर प्यारे हाथ जोड़ सबको सलाम कर प्यारे ये दुनिया में रहना है तो काम कर प्यारे
Maza aa raha hai na? Great music, Banajan, for the best in entertainment and the best in music and the hottest